I heard about these four mothers that they were chatting in a coffee shop. These are different from last week's joke. Different mothers. Remember last week, they were Jewish mothers. These are Catholic mothers that they were talking to each other. And the first one said, my son is a priest. And every time he walks into a room, everybody calls him father. The second one said, my son is a bishop. Every time he walks into a room, everybody call him your grace. The third one said, my son is a cardinal. Every time he walks into a room, everybody call him your eminence. And the fourth one said, my son is 6'3", very handsome. He lifts weights every day. And when he walks into a room, everybody says, my God. I want to talk to you today about precious stones. Precious stones. I already gave you a little bit of a spoiler during the Torah reading, because this parsha, this Torah portion, is talking about some of the accessories for the Kohen Gadol, for the high priest. And they were beautiful things. But my favorite, as I mentioned, was the Hoshen. And I love it. It was this, the Hoshen, for you to imagine, it was like a 3x3 grid, okay, made out of gold, and you have like 12 sockets. And it was to be worn by the high priest. And I like it because it was an oracle. And there are very juicy stories about the Hoshen and people trying to bribe the high priest, either to wear it or to answer personal questions. And we don't really know how it works, but there are some theories that the different stones, 12 stones, each one representing one of the tribes of Israel, will light up with different letters, giving you the answer from God. They also have the Urim and Tumim. There were two stones that they would answer questions with yes or no. But this one will give you the full answer with letters. So it's fascinating. Come on. There is enough material there for Dan Brown to write a new book, or for Indiana Jones to start a new adventure, right? To try to find the Hoshen, so maybe we can have some answers for this world. I don't know. But the most incredible thing about these 12 stones that they were in the Hoshen is the way they are referred to in the Torah and by the rabbis. They call it Avnei Miluim. You know what it means? Avnei Miluim? The filling stones. They were beautiful stones, precious stones, and they call it Avnei Miluim, the filling stones. So basically, the one who filled up the empty spaces into this 3x3 grid that it was made of gold. It doesn't make any sense. Can you imagine if you have, I don't know, a diamond ring, and you call it, look, my gold with a hole there and a rock filling up the space. That's not the way we call it. We call it the diamond, because that's the most important part. Diamond ring. But that's not the way this piece, this accessory was called. And the question is why? Why those beautiful stones were called Avnei Miluim, the filling stones. Is that the best way we can describe it? And the rabbi said, yes, that is the best way we can describe it. Let me explain why. Because they say, you know, the greatest achievement you can have in your life are not achievements that you achieve for yourself. But the greatest achievement is what you can do for others. And the Hoshen itself, that 3x3 grid, was beautiful but incomplete until the stones came to make it whole. So the best way we can define those stones were the one who came to fill the gap, to make that Hoshen complete and something that could serve well to the Jewish people. And that's why I believe that call it the filling stones and not the precious stones is the most beautiful and most wonderful description that we can find. And I realize that this principle can be applied to many aspects in our lives, right? Because we look around and we usually refer to people, or we usually describe people or things based on their beauty or their titles. When in reality, the way we should be aimed to be recognized is actually for what we can make for others. Okay? So we shouldn't be fixated on looks, but rather we should be fixated on what people can do for others or what we can do for others. We should live such life that should be our goal, to constantly see what we can do for others in every aspect of our life. There is a beautiful story that I read this last week. I knew it from before, but I read it again, and I keep loving this story. It's about, especially now that, Purim is coming, but also Pesach preparation already started, right? And yeah, when I read last night during the service, at the announcement, right, that we started to take orders for takeoff for Pesach, and said, oh, really? Again? Yeah, Pesach is coming. So this is a story about a man who comes to see a rabbi and with a question. And the man asked a rabbi, can I do the 4 questions at the Seder with 4 cups of milk instead of wine? Because he said, I don't have money to buy wine, so can I do it with milk? So the rabbi think for a second, said, oh, don't worry. He opened his drawer and he handled this man money. The man was very grateful, very thankful, and he goes home. But then the rabbi's secretary, that he was standing next to him, and said, Rabbi, can I ask a question? Why did you give him so much money? I know how much wine costs, and you gave him way more than that. And the rabbi say, you know what happened? I know this man. He's a very religious person. And if he asks me if he can do the questions with milk, it means that he can't even afford the meat for the Seder. Because, you cannot mix milk and meat. That's why I knew right away that I should give him money for wine, but also for meat, so he can have a decent Seder. That is the way that we should be living our lives. Sometimes, in order to know how we can do something for other people, we should be able to look past the common thing that everybody sees. We should be able to understand their questions beyond of what they are saying us, so we can realize what their needs are, and we can be there to fill up those gaps. And I realized that I actually was very happy to see Jackie this morning, coming back from Israel, helping there. And last week also, when Patrick came from Israel, there were so many other people from our community that they went to volunteer. And there is another mission from the community to go volunteer to Israel, right? This is with what these filling stones are inspiring us to do. We do so many things in our lives, and we like to be sometimes recognized for that, but the best thing we can be recognized for, is what we do for others. And this goes beyond to be recognized, for example, as a volunteer. It's a description that is way better than any other title or recognition that you can have in your lives. So when we read the story of the precious stones, that they are called the filling stones, should be an inspiration for our lives. And to say that our biggest achievement is not what we can do for ourselves, but as many volunteers in the community is what we can do for others to make their lives whole. And when we do that, we become precious stones. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.